good right now, they might actually hear you in Toronto. Let's test that out. Maybe we can get
Live fast all day, every night, oh yeah. She's got the gift, and she's got it back. Ladies of Montreal, lipstick coat red, everything's alright. French chicks insist on a Saturday night. The ladies of Montreal smoke dope, drink wine in their underwear. Those West Coast girls say it isn't fair. The ladies of Montreal.
right here for Lupie Live, presented by Exclaim Magazine with Mr. Dave Bidini.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us here before your performance tonight. Now,
no problem.
I wanted to ask you, as a man who wears so many different cloths, you're not just a band leader, you're not just a singer, songwriter, you're an author, a columnist.
Okay.
How do you use that to inform your songwriting and your music?
Well, to be honest, I think it's just kind of good to, it kind of takes me out of rock and roll, which is good to kind of be able to step out of it, because when you step out of it, you can kind of see it for what it is. You can kind of measure it, and I think it's good to see whatever you do. I think it's good to see it from a distance at times, and I think that's why, you know, when I'm out of that, I'm able to kind of, well, first of all, sort of figure out whether it's any good or not, or whether what we're working on is any good or not, and also allows me to kind of go back in with a bit of sort of with sort of a sense of renewal, I think, partly, and also, like, you know, ideas can be generated from so many different sources, and anytime you're working creatively, I think that it helps inform the other discipline in which you're working, I think.
As a musician who's been in the game for a really long time, you've known the ropes, you've been
First
around.
gig in 1980, yeah. The
You've played, I'm sure, a number of festivals, bigger and smaller. What is the difference between the big festival and coming to a community like this?
Well, I think this is
part of a smaller event.
This is kind of an interesting festival because it's the whole town basically, and anytime you can go anywhere, like you said, big, small, medium, whatever, and get a sense of place, I think that informs the experience. So I think that's one of the reasons that this is an interesting. I mean, really, to be honest, like, not having been to Owen Sound, well, I've actually been here a couple times before, but before these festivals started, like, you kind of think, like, when other folk, when we first heard about it, it was like, really, in Owen Sound? Like, how could that be possible? And then even with this one too, it's like, really, that actually happens in Owen Sound? Because when you don't visit a place, you have preconceptions of it. But coming and seeing it firsthand, and seeing that it really actually works and people get out and support it, has given us kind of new appreciation for the town and for the event and stuff too. Go figure.
Yeah. And now, one last question. You caused a little bit of a stir with a recent column.
Yeah, what was that all about, eh?
I'm not 100% sure, but my question to you is, what would you do if you went to outer space?
What would I do?
What would you do?
It's interesting because one of the things, the column you're referring to, as I was talking about, like, Chris Hadfield kind of just thought it was a great opportunity for him to talk about, you know, the state of the planet, right? To talk about climate change. I mean, he can see the polar ice caps from where he is up in the International Space Station, but it's all about folk music, and it's all about dropping the puck at the Leafs game and talking to William Shatner. So I thought it was a great opportunity missed. And then today, in Russia, like, you know, asteroids and meteorites have been hurtling from space. 1,000 people were injured in Siberia because of this. So he better tell us he better give us some insight on what's actually happening to our planet and the interplanets, because this is a perfect opportunity. So yeah, people were upset at me because I guess I was attacking this national figure or whatever, but you don't become a national figure by not being able to respond to criticism or absorbing criticism. And I think we have to ask questions of our heroes instead of merely accepting them for the simple fact that they're popular or whatever and stuff too. So yeah, but you know what? I've written like 1,000 columns, and that column was the one that pissed people off the most. I don't know. Astronauts, I guess.
Well, Dave, thanks so much for your
pleasure.
time.
Yeah, cheers.
Headlining Lupercalia Fest opening gala tonight at the Roxy. Mr.
Cheers.
Dave Bidini of the Bidini Band.
The boys aren't coming home.